This is the Venator-Class Republic Attack Cruiser. LEGO released it back in 2009 for a cost of $120, but if you want to buy it new now, it's going to set you back around $600. That is no chump change. Why did I pick this set to showcase today? Well, it's because LEGO is going to, well, they're rumored to be coming out with an Ultimate Collector Series version of the Venator, and as far as I know, this is the only other version of the Venator that they've ever come out with, so I wanted to present that to you guys and kind of see what you think. Let's take a look at the build. This is back in 2009, so LEGO was using a lot of plates and a lot of gray. Obviously, it's Star Wars. Like 90% of my LEGO collection downstairs is just all gray, light gray and dark gray. I'm not complaining, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. The usage of all these plates gives the set some nice angles, something that's pretty accurate to its Clone Wars version of the ship, because this is a Clone Wars set, not a regular Star Wars set. So you'll see some cartoony influences, some in the actual build, but mainly in the minifigures, which we'll get to in a minute. The problem with all these plates that are used to achieve these angles is that while they look good, they're not exactly the most sturdy things in the world. They're very prone to bending and kind of coming apart over time. And while over the past 13 years, this set has stood up pretty well to the test of time, you can see some spaces where the plates have started to pull apart and have bent over the test of time, kind of losing their original shape. Of course, it's been a while since I built this, so it's kind of hard to comment on the build quality of it, but I do remember specifically these stickers are the biggest, they were the worst. And I have to hand it to myself, I did a remarkable job. These are incredible stickers. It's wild. Practically completely dead on. While you do have a lot of gray, which is pretty boring, you have these nice dark red accents in it that are accurate to the actual movie version, but are actually much more pleasing to the eye when we talk about displayability. But displayability is actually not the main purpose of this ship, which is good because it doesn't really do well as a display piece, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about the main purpose of this set, which is the play features. This set was designed to be played with, and this is obvious right off the bat from this play handle, which, to my knowledge, I believe this was the first ever Star Wars set to feature a play handle like this, and it kind of blew my little mind as a kid. It is really sturdy, and it's kind of the only sturdy way to lift this set, because I don't think I'd be trusting these plates down here whatsoever, and you certainly can't grab it from the top because that is designed to actually open up. When you do open it up, you've got a play set of Emperor Palpatine's sort of throne room inside the cruiser, and some of his guards here, which we'll go over in the minifigures section. It's a pretty simple Technic hinge function, but it works really well and is very, very smooth. I've never had any trouble with the stability of this part of it whatsoever. Moving over to the side, there's this center section here with a little turn knob that when you twist it, the cruiser actually drops bombs out of the bottom, which is a pretty cool feature, but it's a little bit tight. Flipping the side panels up, you can actually access that interior compartment and pull this bomb carriage out. Taking a quick look at the design, you can see that there's some gears down in the bottom there that turn when you twist this axle on the side. Once you load it up with bombs, those will fall out one by one by turning that gear. It's a neat feature, but it's kind of difficult to slide this back in there and to get it to fit well. And that's sort of the theme for the play features with this set in general, is there's a lot of them kind of packed into this small little package, and it makes it difficult to access them. The second major one here is this gunner that comes sliding out from the rails, and it's a cool set. I mean, you've got the gunner, you've got the huge cannon, but it's equipped with these flick fire missiles that you can't really get to, and if you were to push them, like, they don't really go anywhere. Now, the good news is, if you kind of finagle it a bit and take this piece off, you can pull the whole gunner station out. This build is cool and it fits the gunner perfectly. His arm slips right into that little section there, so that is neat. It just really can't be used inside the actual cruiser. The pilot also comes out, but this is another one of those weird things, because he doesn't fit in the cockpit. Even if you open the cockpit all the way, you cannot fit this clone with his helmet in the cockpit. So while there's a lot of playability with this set, there's also a lot of issues that make it hard to play with, and that's sort of like, that is that era of LEGO Star Wars. They packed a lot of play features in, but they hadn't invented like the spring-loaded shooters or anything yet, so it just kind of was difficult to play with it in any other way than picking it up with this neat handle and flying it around. The set came with 5 minifigures, 2 of these Senate guards, a clone gunner, and a clone pilot. It also came with a Clone Wars Emperor Palpatine, which unfortunately is the only minifigure that I don't have still. I imagine I still have it, it's just I have a ton of LEGO minifigure pieces downstairs and I do not know where he might be. Now, the display value really isn't there for this set, I'm gonna be honest, because it's meant as a play set. There's a lot of gaps in it from the technical elements that they had to use to achieve all the different slopes. You know, it's not the worst looking set in the world, but they definitely sacrificed having a beautiful display set for having something that's practical for a kid to run around and play with. And I think that's cool. That's kind of the point of this sort of LEGO. Now, if you're a huge Star Wars fan, especially a Clone Wars fan, and you love the Venator-Class Star Cruiser, of course you can have this on display. It looks pretty good. It's just not like a UCS set or anything. So I'm looking forward to seeing what their Venator-Class Star Cruiser UCS set looks like, because it's probably gonna be really cool. Although this set was designed for kids to run around with the handle flying it around during space battles, if it got hit pretty hard, it would go down. And now it's time to find out what that would look like. It is time for the drop test. The end is near. This is so not going to end well at all. I have 2 curtains in place to catch any stray pieces so they don't go flying everywhere, and then there's this acrylic sheet on the floor so it's a little bit harder than carpet. For the drop test, we're starting 1 foot off the ground, working our way up, then to 3 feet, and then to 6 feet. If this survives 6 feet, I'll buy the moon. This is so toast. Starting 1 foot off the ground in 3, 2, 1. Oof. Well, it's still majorly together. Piece casualties from round 1. Next up, 3 feet off the ground in 3, 2, 1. Oh. The shell remains. This is pretty well destroyed, but we have 1 more level left to go. 6 feet in 3, 2, 1. Oh. It is, oh, it's thoroughly, well, it's dead. Looks like the engines sort of survived, and some of the Technic frame, the rest, honestly, no less than I was expecting. It's not the sturdiest, well, it wasn't the sturdiest set in the world. But if you enjoyed seeing me absolutely obliterate it, get this video to 1,000 likes, and the next set that I review, I will do the same thing. And in the meantime, I'm gonna fix it, or try.